Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wayward Dice. I'm Kale, the host, and I'm here with Nathan.
Yep, I'm Nathan. I will be taking a break from the game master position and playing a character.
All right. And I'm Zach. I'm the one he'll be taking a break too. We're streaming a new campaign in a new world, a new system, and a new universe. This is going to be a homebrew Coriolis campaign using a D6 engine as seen in Coriolis itself, published by Free and Login, or Free League in English, a Swedish company with a partnership to Paradox Interactive, actually, which is something I learned about 2 weeks ago, which makes Coriolis a Paradox game. I own all their games, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to jump right into the introduction of this homebrew setting, right as soon as I can find where I put it. There it is. All right. So, when the emissaries first came, humanity feared them. It has been years since that fateful day, and the Third Horizon has changed significantly. Once a beacon of humanity's power, a symbol of our ability to reach outwards and expand, it now lies a ruin of what it once was. It was an emissary who declared itself to be an icon of its own right, a judge himself, that set the snowballing events in motion. After this, the Order of the Pariah declared its borders shut, installing a highly militarized autocracy. While tensions rose and anti-emissary rhetoric became increasingly common, one group began organizing and conspiring. What set the horizon aflame was a single man, unknown and unnamed. Alone, in an unremarkable Class 1 fighter craft, he tore apart an emissary freighter. With maneuvers that are whispered of in legends, he is said to have won without a scratch to his paint. Now, many years later, a faction, rising from the ashes of the war-torn Third Horizon, a band of united misfits and survivors named the Haji, have come to claim the Third Horizon and are trying to rebuild civilization to its greatest extent as once seen in this new land. The original Coriolis Third Horizon book has a campaign of its own, and this is kind of a offshoot of the history and lore as provided in it. I have not had the privilege of reading Emissary Lost yet, so a lot of this could actually turn out to be not lore friendly. However, the situation as it is, it's lore friendly to me. So, we're going to jump right into actual. Yeah. We're going to jump right into the actual session 0. Oh, that was a loud noise. And begins with a rainy day, just like any other day in this planet of the Alkebar system. The permanent storm of Alkebar 3A, that is the first moon of the third planet in the system, has remained overhead since you've been banished to the Alkebar prison. Hinza, Kale, you sit at a metal table, tinkering with a blessed talisman of your own design. As you finish performing the final rites, you feel a hand on the back of your collar. The fist grips, pulling you out from your seat violently. Shaken from your world, your mind seems to finally grasp the events occurring around you. Amidst a prison riot in the middle of a storm, you exist as a circle of calm, an island against the sea of insanity. The mosh pit around you seems to slow down in time with it as a woman catches your eye. She appears stern and sturdy looking. She can't be a prisoner. You've been here long enough to know all their faces, and she most certainly is not a guard, and not with that attire, not with that expression. She observes the she observes the mass of prisoners much as you do, the only difference being where she stands, not amidst the crowd, but above it, upon a balcony with arms crossed behind her. She nods, as though the violent tumult has somehow pleased her. She begins to turn, headed inside a large black structure from which yard time had always been watched previously. As time begins to catch up, you are thrown aside, forced to stand or be trampled by the mosh pit. Before you act, let us learn. Who are you, and why are you here?
Hello there. I'm Hinza. Sorry, I am Hinza. Well, I'm a prophet, and I'm coming in to come and save the world, pretty much. Just the natural hero story. I'm coming in to share the truth with all who don't know, which is surprisingly quite a few. But well, I guess the reason why I'm here is people don't like me a whole lot. But I assure you, I shared my secrets with the world. Which I guess in nature
Which
makes
world?
them not secrets.
You don't have to come up with this.
My memory's failing at this time. Let me come back to you later. Well, I was thrown in here because, well, I guess people don't like me knocking on their doors in the middle of the night and throwing flyers at them almost every hour of the day. And it seems that I just got the wrong audience, I guess, and I got thrown in prison because they said I was crazy and insane. And oh, I assure you, I'm not that.
All right. To our viewers who are not very familiar with the Third Horizon setting or the Coriolis lore as a whole, the majority religion is a religion, just the religion of the icons. It is a multi-theistic, disorganized belief in general numerous gods, such as the Judge, the Faceless, and the Lady of Tears, each who give their own benefits to those who worship them. There are, of course, organizations that want a more organized religion and organized church, of which both of these characters actually belong to the Order of the Pariah. Though this Order of the Pariah has taken a more fanatical interpretation of the icons and their espousings. So, Hinza, back to you being tossed to the ground, dusting yourself off to avoid being stomped on. You shove that talisman you were working on into your pocket, and talismans, they give a +1 bonus to any one roll. For what stat do you really want to put that into?
The deadliest.
All right, we'll say with ranged combat, you will have a single-use +1
Oh
item.
jeez. Okay. I'll probably just have it as like a little thing that like hangs from my weapon that I'm using at the given moment.
All right.
It inspires.
Not that you have one right now. You're just in prison.
Yeah. This will look perfect
so again-
whenever I get out of here.
So you dust yourself off. You mud yourself off. Yeah, it's muddy. It's rainy. You get the mud off your chest, off your arms, off your legs, standing up and kind of taking in the surroundings. For the most part, a lot of people aren't really centered around you. There's only the person who threw you aside and a couple people in the general area. Now, the majority of people are focused on 2 gates. Now, the yard you're in is a square, about 120 feet in any direction, and you're very close to the center. So 60 feet in any direction, there is another gate. To your north, directly in front of you, is a short gate, the shortest of the 4, that is made of chain link. Usually it's electrified, as are the other gates, but today it isn't. Something seems to be off, and the prisoners have noticed, taking their opportunity to jump and climb the gate. To the east, however, the prisoners seem a little less interested. This is directly to your right, and they are running away from the gate as it slowly begins to open. It's also made of chain link, but seems more reinforced, and there appears to be more structures behind it. You've never been in this area of the prison, so you're not really to say what might be really behind that gate. Directly behind you, to the south, is where you saw the woman on the balcony, amid a very tall structure that overhangs the yard. Under the structure is another chain link gate that prisoners have actually lined up to, something more organized amid this rioty mosh pit. And to your west, the left direction, and the last direction, the majority of prisoners have centered around one man that you recognize. He's a fellow Order of the Pariah who has managed to find his way into an exoshell made for the maintenance crew of the prison. Using the power of the exoshell and a built-in blowtorch, he has managed to tear apart much of the chain link fence and is about to finish making a gate within the gate.
Okay.
Which direction do you go in?
Well, I have a friend, and I'm gonna go see my friend, who looks like they're being a pretty much. Not they're being a pretty much. They're being pretty much awesome. So I'm gonna go like skitter over there in the rain and hope not to slide in the mud. Also, I want to clarify this. What is the gravity like on this planet?
This planet is actually it's a moon, so it's not really helpful. But for the most part, it's very Earth-like in this specific area, as there are artificial gravity devices around this prison to avoid
and
anybody flying away.
Out in the plains per se, what would it be? I guess in
the outside, the planet or the moon itself, it would be about half the power of Earth.
Okay.
So overall, time seems to actually move quite quickly here.
Okay.
So now you're headed towards that west gate, the one to your left.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. All right. As you approach, the man in the exoshell rips off the final piece of chain link, opening the gate within the gate, and through it, many prisoners pour, escaping the yard. The man in this exoshell is none other than Liazar Petros, Nathan's character, a tall, imposing soldier, an initiate for the Order of the Pariah. What exactly is Liazar doing here? How long has he been here, and why was he put in prison?
So as you mentioned, Liazar is an initiate into the Order of the Pariah. He has aspirations to greatness and is attempting to prove himself. And a few months ago, he may have harmed and or killed some humanites, which are humans who have different features like pheromones and so on, who he views as like aberrations in non-humans, even though they are genetically humans, just different. And so anyways, he kind of tends to provoke them, and maybe things got a little bit out of hand, and he's been incarcerated, and in his mind, undeservedly so, and he wants out.
Right.
Probably his most distinguishing feature is he has a command unit that he kind of permanently has attached. It kind of connects from his eye with like a almost like a HUD projection onto his retina. It's all external, and it wraps over to his ear, so he uses it to communicate with other people. He could take it off, but he sleeps in it and whatever. It's waterproof and so on, so he probably even bathes in it. But it's tight enough against his head that he can wear it inside of a helmet and that sort of thing. But it's like a permanent attachment that he keeps on. He's also been cybernetically enhanced in his muscles, so he's got very strong muscles. If you see him without like a shirt or pants on, like his muscles are all like enhanced, like metal and plastic fibers and like glowing bits and stuff. He's obviously not naturally human. He's been enhanced, and it's very obvious in this suit right now, probably with his head visible. You can see his neck muscles are kind of like bulging and rippling with like weird just he's obviously not like just a plain old human.
All right. I like that you mentioned that he probably bathes in that. I'm just trying to imagine how you would get about that. Just like washing your hair and then you actually get some water in there and it just shorts out. That'd be fun. You got all the metal in your body anyway, so I would assume a lot of it's waterproof now. Pretty far off in the future. All that. All right. So Liazar has just torn apart this chain link fence, opening much of the gate, actually, opening much of it and allowing a large portion of the rioting population to freely continue forward in a hallway made by two more chain link fences running parallel of each other. I'm assuming you like sidestep to avoid this sort of rushing crowd.
Yeah, I imagine he's still kind of holding onto that bit of the fence, and they're just kind of like running by maybe once they're through, then he's gonna kind of go through himself. Let them, if there's armed guards ahead, let them clear out the schmucks first.
All right. Do you yell anything after them, kind of like supportive, like a battle cry?
He's probably treating him like he's hurting, some sort of four-footed mammal type creatures of the future.
All right. So now, as he kind of like, as this crowd continues forward, one of the few prisoners that you've actually recognized here, Hinza, begins to approach you as he's approaching this. The two of you are now in talking distance.
Hello there, fellow followers. Follower, how goes it? I see you have a nice little flamethrower right there. Where'd you get that at?
Brother Hinza. He just acknowledges you and looks down at his hands and realizes he's still holding the chain link. He tosses it down and steps through out into the same area where you are.
Brother Liazar, you're not talking as much as normal. Well.
So Liazar's walking through the gate, to clarify.
Yeah, he's passed through it now. After all, I'm assuming the others have gone through, and now we have a chance to speak.
Yeah. All right. So he's walked through the gate, probably had to duck to get in there with the whole shell he's got going on, and Hinza's following him, most likely.
Yes, I'm gonna follow him.
Yes. All right. Now continue the conversation.
Well, looks like we're escaped. Well, let's go be fugitives.
And he kind of snorts. Also, just a clarification, Zach, are we outside of the prison now, or are we in like a different part of the compound within like the exterior?
The yard itself was very central, kind of more of a courtyard to the prison. The prison has like buildings, kind of more of a city kind of setup here. Separate buildings that have pathways marked by chain link fences, keeping them all together, door to door.
I guess what I'm asking is, are we still inside the prison, or are we outside of the prison?
Oh, you're definitely inside the prison. You gotta wait.
Okay, all right, okay.
So
and I'm assuming we know like approximately like a way out, or.
Actually, the direction you're going, well, yes, it might lead to a way out. There's not any sort of definite path to an exit, as you have all been kept kind of away from such areas. You do know that this is definitely one of the directions that maintenance crews go whenever they're talking about going back home, though.
This is also the way the other convicts ran off.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of follow after them, like
all
safety
right.
numbers or whatever.
So as you're passing through this almost of a hallway between these two chain link fences, space chain link fences specifically, you gotta keep up that sci-fi theme. There's a lot of like debris and rubble that's been pushed aside by this almost human ocean of just people pouring through. But as you get continuing further, almost about 100 feet, so a couple minutes of not a couple minutes, just a short, brisk walk in that exoshell of yours, you begin to notice that a couple of the prisoners who rushed through initially are on the ground, either stunned, dead, or unable to continue walking.
I think Eleazar is gonna flip over a few of them and see if they have any weapons on them, or if they've been like shot through, or stabbed, or like why are they down?
All right. The first one that he turns over kind of like lifts a hand, making an almost terrified gesture, and almost longingly reaches out to Eleazar before the color in his eyes just starts to fade. So Eleazar has just found a man dying quite literally in his arms. He does actually, in his other hand, carry a Vulcan pistol.
Right. Yes, I think Eleazar is definitely gonna like. He tends to shoot left-handed, like with pistols. So I think he's just gonna like just grasp it in his left hand. And is the man like dying basically?
Oh, he's already dead. Like
Okay.
as he grabbed the pistol, he
Oh,
just
so his eyes like roll back as he's
Yeah,
like,
I think he's just gonna kind of pull his eyelids shut and stand up and immediately turn and flip over the next guy. And then I don't know what Hinza is doing.
yes,
Right. What is
Hinza
Hinza doing?
is. I think he's doing the same. I think he's looking for some of his followers. Does he know? Does he recognize any of his followers on the ground?
I mean, Hinza specifically would recognize everyone as a follower, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure.
But
The clean and the
but
well, the follow. Never mind. Yes.
yes,
Oh my
but
brothers. I am above.
yeah, but I don't know if these corpses would say the same about him.
Oh my brothers, I am,
yeah.
for I am very forsaken in this moment of despair. I shall cleanse your bodies of life, and anyone laying on the ground who's almost dead, I'm gonna like push really hard on their throat, because the prophecy has something to do with death, and if you're pretty much gonna die, then you're gonna die. But if there are people, I mean, it's only if they look like they're gonna die completely, like, imminent death.
Yeah, that is a absolutely wonderful religious thing going on there. I would totally get behind that.
Thank you.
So you get through probably your first two before Liazar moves on to his second person.
I get through my first
he's
two?
flipping.
Oh god, that sounds so bad.
Yeah. Liazar flips over his second person, who has a Dura knife stabbed into his probably around his abdomen. So there seems to have been some kind of battle. In fact, as you begin to kind of inspect this area, it has been almost trampled by the people moving over it after this whole battle took place. You begin to realize that not all the bodies are that of prisoners. There are some guards and faculty thrown about in this array of bodies.
Did you say that it was a Vulcan pistol or carbine, by the way?
Vulcan pistol in his hand.
You said faculty and people working.
Yep.
I think Hinza is going to look and see if any of the faculty are carrying weapons such as stun guns, batons, space stun guns, space boots.
The vast majority of the bodies have already been looted to some extent by the prisoners rushing through. Mm-hmm. However, you are able to find one very specific item that I will soon find in my book.
It's like, it's gotta be here. It's gotta be here somewhere. yeah, I'm sure. This is the guard that took it away from me, right?
Yeah. Right. You managed to find a.
Check his pockets, and I find a.
You managed to find a very small and haphazardly, almost broken stun gun, basically a taser.
How dare he get the stun gun that he took from me and still almost break it? And I'm gonna grab it from his hands. Is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, is it because I cleansed him or because he died?
No, this one was cleansed by someone else much longer.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have holy cleansing. It's specifically by the throat.
Okay, so are you cleansing the corpse body?
Oh, for sure. I'm angrily cleansing him. In fact, no, I'm not cleansing him. I am making his body unpure and unfit for the idols. Right? Instead of killing him by the neck. Yeah, instead by the neck, I'm like squeezing his head really tight and giving him like a minor headache in the afterlife. But I'm going to I'm gonna take my stun gun, and I think I'm also gonna put on his like, or grab his guard's clothes if they're. I guess it's not very attainable. It's kind of a lot of stuff going on, right?
Yeah, no. Grabbing the clothes, you'd probably get like knocked over and stepped on by a couple.
Is he wearing a helmet by chance?
No. The most you could find, like the majority of these guards anyway, were like caught off guard. They had absolutely no idea what was going on, and were almost unarmed for the most part. So the two of you have found pretty much all you're going to find here. A man on the verge of death, basically giving you a pistol. A man who's been stabbed through the chest with a Dura knife, and a stun gun.
Great. Is it just so happened by chance that there are no other weapons on anyone?
I think Liazar is gonna take the knife out of this dead guy and have it in his right hand.
All right, he's definitely going to have that. It's a bit more blunt than would be desirable, but it is still usable to a perfect extent.
I think he's gonna trigger the activator and make sure that the blade still vibrates and it's not dead.
Yes, but I believe that's mercurium you're thinking of.
No.
No. Yeah, no.
No, not mercurium. Like I think it's got like a vibrating like serrated edge, like a cutting edge.
Yeah.
It's powered by cells.
Yeah. I was the one thinking of mercurium there. All right. Yeah. But yeah, you definitely have the neuro knife, and it's actually still working. I mean, it was used for a very short period of time. Yes.
For my stun gun, I'd like to point it at someone laying on the ground who still needs to be cured, and I'm going to shoot their body to make sure that it works.
As soon as you fire it, that seems to have been not only the last piece of ammo in the chamber, but have also been the last piece of ammo was capable of firing. It was a
no!
It's like a zip gun.
Wait, okay. So sorry, that's Kale. That's not Heinza. Once I realize that it's broken, I'm gonna take the gun. I'm gonna lay it on top of his chest and be like, "I have gratefully and humbly used the last piece of ammunition capable of being fired out of this weapon on you. You should feel honored." And then I'm going to
I don't know if the corpse that was just stunned is quite honored.
I whisper this to him. I'm like down on his ear. I'm like blah blah blah. I'm truly insane. I don't even know how my empathy is even that high. I'm going to I get up and I loot his corpse for a stun gun that's not broken.
There is no such thing.
Whoops. Well, that's the fun of role-playing games.
All right. So, as you've spent some time focusing on this one body, I would assume Liazar's starting to kind of get a little annoyed and continue forward. But most importantly, people have been pushing past you as the last dregs of people coming from the what is it called? The yard have been pushing through this hallway. So, I mean, there's still sort of this sense of urgency that, pretty soon there's going to be some guard insurrections here.
I think now that Liazar's got a couple weapons in hand, he's going to start hurrying after the massive bodies that are like kind of like surging ahead. That way, if there is an opportunity to, like with all the chaos, to actually escape, he wants to make the most of it.
All right.
Cool.
And is Heinza following or still focused on that prayer?
No, Heinza is done with his prayer. He's going to to venture forth into the unknown.
All right. So the two cross some more territory and eventually come across a two-way intersection in this chain link hallway. I keep describing it as. To the right is a tall pile of just randomly assorted like desks, whatever anybody could find in this sort of prison area, offices and sort. And it's been made as a blockade, apparently to keep somebody from going that direction. It seems that the backside of the blockade is facing the direction that you're looking at it from, so at least you're probably on the right side of it. To the left is a continuing path, and you can see the surging population, the rioters moving forward, rushing forward.
Yeah, I don't think Liazar is going to contemplate too heavily. He's just going to try and catch up with the pack on the left area.
All right.
Heinza is going to move forward with a surge of people, and if anyone falls down, he's going to help them up, unless they're dead, and then he's going to kill them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. This is chaotic evil in space, everybody.
Oh, well, thankfully there are no alignments, so I can be good or bad if I want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep, that's how this works. Oh, I forgot to write something down, actually.
For shame.
So, about how many people would you say you've cleansed so far?
So far, 3. I've,
3?
Yes,
All right.
I've basically dislocated their esophagus from their larynx. And the other guy I stun gunned.
Yep. All right. That is a good thing to keep in mind. So just tell me every time you're going to come across one of those. Anyway.
Okay.
The two of these, Hinza and Liazar, continue forward and manage to catch up with the remaining members of the prisoners. It seems that more and more people have been dropped as this surge continues forward. And now, from what was probably about 50, about 25 remain. You reach the back of the group, and suddenly everyone stops, seeing 3 guards that seem a little bit more well-armed than the last few bodies have shown, standing in their way.
Like armed with guns, or
2 armed with Dura knives of their own, but also some basic armor, and 1 with a Vulcan pistol, pointed at the group.
are they guarding like a door or something, like out of this current area, or?
They are guarding the final stretch of this hallway that leads directly towards a door, yes, to the would be recognizable the main structure of the prison, the main administrative section of the prison.
I think Liazar is gonna say, "Adam, boys."
All right. Can you give me a command check on that one?
Sure. So, like Zach mentioned, it's a dice 6 pool. A command roll is my empathy score of 3, and my command score is 1. So I'll roll 4 6-sided dice, and any 6s are a success. No 6s.
All right. The group seems not entirely motivated, and a few look at you, but nobody seems to start rushing. Are you going to lead by example?
Yeah, he strides forward into the group. He's like, "I'll do it myself then. Come on." And then he just like...
God. Your character dies in the first session.
Yeah, I start shooting at the one with the pistol.
All right. So the way combat works in the Coriolis system is you're given 3 what are called action points. Yes, I believe. Yeah, what are called 3 action points. You can spend 1 on fast actions, 2 on a normal action, or 3 on a slow action. So, for instance, a fast action would be something like taking cover, pulling a gun out of a holster, or firing a weapon without really focusing on your aim. Normal action would be attacking somebody with a blade or a sword of some sort, reloading your weapon, or firing a shot with kind of like a moderate focus on aim, so just kind of like putting it up there for a second and then firing instead of just firing without even looking at it. And then a slow action would be equivalent to something you'd see in a sniper movie. You'd sit there for a moment and then you'd pull the trigger once you have a perfect everything, air density is all accounted for. You're standing on the top of your head and all that kind of stuff. So with those 3 action points, how exactly are you going to attack the situation?
Well, I see he's going after the other guy that has the pistol. Right. He's not really thinking this through fully. It seems like the obvious threat. So he kind of like takes aim and takes his first aim shot, which is 2 action points. And he does like kind of like a double tap, and he's a quick follow-up shot for a quick attack for his final 3rd action point, which will have a minus penalty. Want me to roll?
All right. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so the first aim shot, agility is 4, range combat is 1, that's 5, and so that's aimed, I get... Wait, no, it's just a normal attack. I didn't take an aim shot. That would be a full 3. no sixes, -2 penalty for the double tap, and the second shot does actually. I rolled 1-6. That deals 2 damage.
All right. So you're not quite like you just picked up this gun, and it's probably been like thrown about by its previous owners to begin with. So for the most part, it's actually kind of the aim's a bit off. The iron sights are actually kind of like thrown off. They're adjustable in this new fancy era. And so your first shot goes quite off far to the left between the one of the Dura knife wielding guys and the one you're actually shooting at with the pistol. But your second shot, because of the way the recoil pushed the gun, happens to find a target and hit him. Because it's a Vulcan pistol, it's a small rocket that has explosives included. And it deals a little bit of minor damage. I believe it's 2 for a Vulcan pistol.
I mentioned it was 2. I've already written the stats down.
All right.
Where's Hinza in all of this, Zach?
Hinza, right now, he would be at the... Oh, and I'm going to say that was the sort of a surprise round because you're kind of like putting it out. So let's roll some initiative.
I also forgot to roll a bonus die, but anyways.
2 on my initiative.
All right. These guys got 3s.
So the initiatives, we're just rolling a dice 6.
Yep.
All right, and with my Vulcan pistol and Dura knife, I have a +1 to initiative. So I rolled a 6, so I have a 7 on mine.
All right. So yeah, you're definitely going first. So you have 1 more turn because that was not really a surprise round, but the initiation of combat to begin with. So you have another round of more shooting.
Okay, I'll do the same thing. He's gonna take a regular shot and then do like a double tap and do like a quick shot on the second one.
All right.
Okay, first shot, no sixes. -2 penalty on the double tap on the quick shot. And I got another 6, so the second shot lands again, 2 damage.
All right. The guard standing there with a pistol. The first one that hit, it didn't really deal that much damage. But the second one manages to catch him right in the leg, on his kneecap, and he collapses over to the left, dropping his weapon and becoming incapacitated, unable to continue fighting. And the other 2 look at him and decide, well, it's never, never. They both rush at you as you're kind of like the forefront member of this whole group going on. And both strike using their Dura knives. Let me get stats here. All right. So one of them got 1-6. And because you're in an exoshell, you can actually roll, I believe, a d6 to reduce that if you get a 6 on there. I believe that's how armor works, yeah?
Yeah, it's 2 on the exoshell. I rolled 1-6.
All right. So he manages to just like slice the exoshell, but not really do much. Not really get deep down into your skin or anything. The other one strikes at you. And just get 1-6, and that's it. Another strike. And I believe, yeah. So the other one deals, I believe you can only use armor once in an attack, in a combat.
No, anytime you get attacked, you roll armor.
Yep, that is actually exactly where I brought that.
And since I used all my action points, I don't have any left to defend. I could have tried to like block him, but I've spent all my time shooting.
All right. So the other one manages to get his blade right between where this maintenance armor has a couple holes and strikes through the defensive plating.
How many points?
Just 2.
Does he lose one from my successful armor roll?
The other one lost his, but this one also got a 6. So
I'm not following you. So did they both roll 6s, or?
Yeah, they both rolled 1/6 each.
Okay, so you just blocked the other one, so he takes 2 damage.
Yep. All right. And now it would be Hinza's turn.
I guess my question is, what is the crowd doing currently while this fight's going on?
They seem to become more motivated by the.
Okay, so
Sorry?
they're kind of So basically, they're kind of standing back and watching.
Yeah, they seem to have, as the attrition, as more and more guards kind of cut down their numbers more and more, they have seemed to lose that initial surge of confidence of we're getting out of here kind of bravado, and now have become a bit more fearful for their own lives. But
Gotcha.
as Liazar takes down the one with the gun and takes a knife without, falling down dead immediately, they seem to have regained a bit of that energy.
Okay, I think Hinza is gonna look, because he doesn't have a weapon. I can't figure out how unarmed combat goes down in this game. I can't find anything on it.
Armed.
It's on the weapons page, the melee weapons.
Yeah, should be down 1 damage. Correctly.
1 damage and no bonus 6s, I'm guessing.
Bonus is 0, initiative plus 2, damage is 1.
Oh, so I actually should have gone before them, but that's fine. Then I'm gonna run
Well,
up.
it's only if you claim them.
Well, I'm gonna bash my fists into them since I don't have any kind of anything, which is a melee attack. Let me see.
And kill a few carrots on page 130.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. I'm gonna run up and I'm going to try and attack, and I'm gonna try to grapple him. So, as a bonus to a successful melee combat attack, you can choose to pin your opponent. To break free, your opponent must beat you in an opposed melee combat roll. Alright, so I'm going to roll 5 dice for melee combat. And I got 1 6.
Okay, then his armor doesn't actually block that. So
I think he said it's an opposed melee check.
Well, that's for the grappling. He still takes the damage regardless. But yeah, to break free of my pin, they have to make an opposed melee combat roll. Counts as a normal action for the person in the clinch, but as a free action for me. So they can't do anything until they break free on their turn.
Let's see, they use normal action.
Well, they can't. Yeah, they have to do it on their turn while they try to break out.
Yeah.
So I think Nathan would go before then. I think.
So you did how much damage was it to them? 1.
Uno.
With the 1 arm. Uno. All right.
So I guess do you care if I describe kind of like what I did?
Oh yeah, the more description, the better. So
basically, I come from out of the crowd, and I see Liazar out there, and I'm like, "Don't worry, Hinza's here to save the day." So I'm sprinting, and I say, "I have you, brethren. I shall cleanse you of your curses." And I grab him by the throat and slam him on the ground. And I'm sitting here like trying to strangle him to death. I'm cleansing him. I'm not like being disrespectful.
Of course. So as you take him by the throat and push him down onto the ground, the crowd behind you seems to regain that excitement, the energy, and you hear 1 or 2 of them chant, "Cleanse them," as they push forward, and one just left hooks the guard that stabbed Liazar, and the other comes beside you and kicks the guard that you're holding, both dealing 1 damage each.
Sweet. And
helping bring down the difficulty of the fight. All right, and now it's back up to Liazar's turn. He has all 3 of his points.
Can he take his dur knife and stick it to his exoshell and bend over and pick up the dropped pistol from the other guard?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna allow that.
Okay.
So you can find.
And is that guard down on the ground?
Yes, the guard that he's holding is down on the ground under him, choking.
No. I mean the one who I shot in the leg.
Oh, yeah. He's down on the ground, like clawing at the ground, trying to move.
Okay. Is he? Do I get any sort of bonuses for attacking him, or can I cancel out the penalties for the quick actions, or I want to shoot at him?
I would imagine that counts as a quick action, but let me.
No, I'm saying I want to take 2 quick actions. I'm gonna shoot him once with each pistol, one in each hand. I'm just saying, is there any since he's just like lying there before me? Do I have any sort of bonuses to attack?
Yeah, I'll give you a plus 2 more dice for each die.
Because it's normally 6 dice, and then I take a -2 penalty for a quick action, so I'll just take the dice back then. Because I guess sitting duck, right?
Yeah, so you should be able to hit that.
First shot has 1 success for 2 damage. Second shot misses.
All right. You fire both of your pistols, though one that you had originally is still kind of shooting off to the left. So you manage to hit the ground like next to him, and the explosive just deals a little bit of shrapnel. But the one in your right hand, the one you just picked up from him, is far more centered on that sight and is able to get right in there on his chest and finish him off. And that's that's a big oof. So he's now dead, and the 2 with knives are now fighting an increasingly large number of the group members rushing forward and punching.
What was beyond them? Just the corridor kind of continues, or was there a door? What was beyond them?
The corridor continues until eventually it hits a solid wall with a door built in. Black in both, or black in color and flat in texture. Very metallic looking. Almost like obsidian, really.
Yeah, I think my turn's over, but I'll wait till my next turn to describe what I do next.
All right. So the one in your grasp, Hinza, he's gonna like grab at your hands and try and force you off, choking as he does so.
So I need to make an opposed roll as well against him.
He doesn't get a single 6, so he automatically fails anyway.
Perfect. And he can't do anything. Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to say since you're choking him, you're going to have to deal him extra damage just periodically. Mm-hmm. All right. And the other one...
Oh, hang on. There are actually rules to it. To getting the attack. Nice.
The other one, I just got a crit. I'm not going to actually roll for that. Yeah. Okay, so the other guard, who's now standing and was just punched by a bystanding prisoner running out, manages to catch the prisoner with his knife and cuts a very important artery in the arm, causing the prisoner to fall and become one with the mud. It's now back to Hinza's turn.
I hate to think that the ground is so alive that it's just consuming the people on the ground. Within a couple of hours, their bodies are just going to be completely gone. I could be wrong. So I'm choking this guy. I'm going to make an unarmed grapple attack against him, or just a grapple attack. You actually get +2 to the number of dice I roll, though, because it's a grapple. So I got 1/6. So he takes 1 damage, and he can't defend against it either.
No, you can't. So, as you...
I'm slamming his head down as hard as I can.
So, doing that, you manage to make him go unconscious, and he falls limp in your arms, unable to breathe.
Okay. Well, it's not going to stop there. I don't know if this is normal action. I believe it's normal action. Or is it a grapple attack is like any other melee combat attack. Can I just squeeze really tight?
No. Attacking in melee, you're going to be using a normal action, which uses 2 of your points. So you have 1 more. You can put to getting up.
I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to leave until my opponent is finished. So I'm just going to stay there.
The one under you is very much finished.
Oh, but you said he's unconscious. I'm not finishing it unconsciousness. I'm cleansing him, brother. Okay, whatever. I'm going to just get up and I'll run. I'll
right.
sprint 10 meters, as stated in the book.
All right. So with that burst of speed forward, you're actually now outpacing Eleazar in his bulky exosuit and making a run for that door at the end of the corridor. The man with the knife still stands as he is being repeatedly assaulted by unarmed prisoners until eventually they roll another 6. There's a lot of them. It happens eventually. He's pelted to death. It's wonderful. They continue forward.
It's wonderful how
And
he's just
that-
pelted to death. Just like
Yep.
stoning someone in the Stone Age. We were just pelting someone in
Yeah.
the Space Age.
So now the prisoners are armed with an array of weapons that they picked up, mostly their hands, but some that they were able to find from the scattered about guards from their past in prison. The remaining prisoners number about 24 at this point, and now you two are in the lead of this group, headed towards that door.
Oh yes, finally, my followers. I knew they would finally listen to what I had to say. Onward we go, comrades, into the deep nether space where we're all gonna live and thrive. Huzzah! And I'm just gonna start sprinting for pretty much no reason. Like, I think we're all like at like a pretty steady pace, and I'm just gonna run really fast, expecting everyone to run after me.
They are also kind of running, but not quite at the full extent, as they are prisoners, malnutrition, and
That's
dealing with
fair.
some good exhaustion.
It's
And how's Eleazar responding to all this?
He's quickly scanning the down guards for any sort of like a pass key or
any 2-use stun
credit
guns.
sticks or
Alright.
tags with burr on them.
Yeah, tags. All
Or
right, give me an
any-
observation. An observation check.
Oh, both of us or just him?
Just him. Because you're the one running forward.
I got 1-6.
All right, you are able to find on the one you just shot, whenever you, or after he fell down dead, or fell over, now dead, he kind of like threw his arm out, and it seems he was trying to get a tag away from the group so that they wouldn't have access. And in his hand is a tag, a key to the door far ahead.
Right, picking up, he's gonna advance to the door and unlock it and open it, and basically allow the prisoners to escape. Like he'll say, "Ah, to our freedom," and then he'll like open the door and like just kind of almost like gesture for people to go through.
All right, he has to initially he has to push his way through the 24 strong group of prisoners and Hinza, making his way to the door because I mean, most of them are able to outrun him, even because he's got that exo on.
Wait, who?
But,
who has an exo?
It's like an astronaut's
I do.
outfit, but yeah, he has an exo.
Yeah, I think I just kind of stop at the door and like start just like knocking until he gets there and then opens it.
All right, he does get there and open it within a pretty quick amount of time. As the door slides open, it reveals a bright room, mostly white in color, that looks quite a lot like a storage room, but has very few contents inside. In fact, there's only one container still left. At the far end of the room, in a straight line from the door you're just entering, there is another similar door, but past that, there's no other features to the room.
He's just gonna investigate the one item left behind.
All right. Keynes opens the crate, and in the bottom of the crate is another one-use stun gun.
Does it say single use on it?
No, it just says stun gun,
Oh.
but they're specifically one use. It's just how they're produced.
Great. If I find another dead body to cleanse, I'm probably gonna use it on that. I put the gun to my hip. Wait, I don't have a holster. I just kind of like I have like a robe on. I'm just gonna like kind of just like sled it down, but I'm gonna actually like do that with my hand. So I'm just gonna kind of like have one hand that's just has a stun gun wrapped up. So one hand you can
All
see,
right.
the other hand is just a black lump with this extremely unusual shape within.
All right. And is Liazar doing anything of note in this in the room?
Well, did the other convicts go through?
They are making their way in, but the two of you are at the forefront.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I meant to indicate that he would want the others to kind of like rush through and clear out the area before he came in.
All right. So as
So
Hinza rushes in,
let these guys sort of like kind of like rush through or whatever, and kind of like follow up behind them.
yeah, the Zukov tactic. So you open the door and kind of like sidestep. You point towards the door to like emphasize that the groups should continue in forward. And as you do so, you hear a bunch of chanting from various prisoners, things such as "to freedom, cleanse them," things of that nature. Hinza and Yazar, you've both been having quite an impact on their mentality. All right. So as the last of those enter the building, Yazar is now standing alone outside the door. I'm assuming he enters after they're all in.
Yeah. Are there more doors within?
Yeah. So as said earlier, the directly across from the door you just entered is another door reaching further into the facility.
Okay. Yeah. So I think he's gonna advance and try that door. Is it locked or?
The tag doesn't initially work, or it doesn't appear to initially work, but after a few seconds, it seems it was just having a little lag, and the door does eventually open.
Okay. Yeah. He'll push it open and kind of stand back for the others to kind of go through ahead of him.
All right. The others pile through, and does Hinza go in with the group, or is he standing back with Liazar?
Huzzah, comrades! He's gonna go with the group.
All right, he's rushing in with the group, and with the group, he would see.
He's probably leading the group, actually.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. So before the group even sees it, so as the leader of the group, he would see that this next room is just as white, like it's basically just white tile and bright fluorescent lights just all over. So it's actually kind of hard to see differentiation in shading here. But again, this is a much longer room this time. And again, there is another door further on along. But to your left, there's a large set of stairs with a split up the middle that just makes a block splitting the stairs into different corridors. But both corridors reach and keep going towards the same direction.
I say, which way should we go?
Is there another like way that looks like kind of like obvious, like an exit to the outside, like an exterior exit or anything like that, like an airlock or anything?
You have not found anything of the sort. However, you kind of get the sense that you're making your progress towards it.
We're making progress. The icons have told me. Let's go. And I just start sprinting full speed up the stairs. I'll actually probably trip because I'm running so fast.
All right, give me a dexterity check to see if he's tripping up.
Oh, great. You just roll 3 dice here. Oh, I rolled a 3, a 6, and a 3.
All right. So you managed to, actually rather masterfully climb up those stairs like any good first grader can. So pushing onwards, you go up those stairs. I would assume, again, Liaison are following after the group has made their entrance into the next room.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Is Liaison following the group up the stairs, or is he going to go and check out that next door?
Are the majority going upstairs?
Everyone's following Hinza.
So okay, yeah, I think in the bottleneck, while they're all kind of like trying to like file into that ladder stairs, not ladder. He's gonna crack the door open before joining them on the stairs. Just kind of see what's through there.
All right. looking through that sort of that looking through that door, he would see the exact same room, like almost symmetrically the exact same, with a crate there, just in the exact same location. The only difference on this room is that the end of this room does not have a door. It is just a room with a crate. And I should mention too, the crate itself is made out of a kind of a styrofoam, so it's also white.
There's probably cake inside.
If there's cake, I'm gonna open up the styrofoam.
Well, the cake is a lie. So
that was the reference. Thank you.
Dang.
All right.
It's always a lie.
It's always a lie. You gotta Valve sponsor us anyway. So
Valve does nothing.
in here, you actually find 3 sets of M doses, or not 3 sets, 3 specific, separate
So
M doses.
it's like a little first aid room.
Yep. Though.
All right. He's just gonna strap him onto his like a utility pouch on his exo, and then go to the stairs and go up the stairs with the others.
All right. The others have reached another door at the top of these stairs and have been waiting for you to come over. So is Heinz still knocking at that door until Azar shows up like he was with the outside door? You hear the not the pitter patter per se, but the hydraulic expansions and closings of this exosuit as Eleazar comes closer, and he brings out the tag to open the door. But before he can reach the tag to the reader, the door opens on its own, and in the doorway, you would see a woman who looks very similar to the woman you saw moments ago back on the balcony of the yard. But there's something different about her.
I'm gonna crank the jack in the box, waiting for your answer of what's different.
Oh, I see.
Oh no, Heinza doesn't do that. Heinza doesn't like.
Yeah.
She's listening. I'm trying to like reel her in.
Yeah.
Heinza's gonna be. Oh yes.
No. Okay, so the most different thing about her is that the hair seems to be longer. Most physically, she seems to carry herself very differently. So there's some sort of differentiation between this person and the one you saw earlier, but they look almost physically the exact same.
Hello, are you the clone or is the other?
She takes a step back. I was not expecting that one. Yeah, she takes a step back and looks over her shoulder and says, looks over her shoulder and pulls out a communicator device. It says, "All right, they made it." And with that, simply takes a few steps back.
That
letting the group in.
That doesn't answer my question. Are you the clone or is the other one?
So this is at the top of the stairs?
Yep.
Is there another door up here, like leaving this area?
Yeah. This is. She's standing in a doorway and she's taking a step back from the doorway.
She's just waiting in a corner. Like, hey guys, you made it. Welcome to the party. We've locked the doors behind you, so you're all dead.
This is in my corner now, boys. My camera died. Hold on.
Well.
Think of this as a minor intermission as caused by the powers of electricity.
Rest in peace, Zach.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick while I wait for him to fix his mic.
Year 2000 to year 2018. May he forever live in peace. And now it's just me. Hello, everyone. I am the mastermind behind Heinza. The so amazing person that is a human and amazing. Yeah. You want to see something cool? Look at your screen and watch my cursor. Watch this.
There we go.
Whoa, bam. That's cool, huh? Boom. Super awesome. Hang on. See that? The mouse? Boom, it just teleported. Teleported. It's just teleporting everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm done. Okay, hey Zach. Hey
Hi.
Zach. Hi.
I don't want to know what that was about.
Oh, you probably don't.
All right. I'm just watching our stream, and apparently one of Nathan's balloons just fell down. That's sad. Anyway, so yeah, while he's using the bathroom, I'm assuming he's in the bathroom.
Yes, he did go to the restroom. That's correct.
So while he's doing that, I'm gonna get some tea. I will be right back.
Oh, you're leaving me alone again to show all the loyal viewers this super cool mouse trick. Well, everyone watching, I do have to say, what are your thoughts? Any kind of comments on how we're doing today, on how you're doing today, on what you think about our channel? Anything is perfect. Let me just wait. Oh, Nathan is back. Hello, Nathan.
Did Zach take a break, Kale?
Zach left to go do something. Yes, I don't remember exactly.
Okay. When was the last time you played Coriolis?
Me? Over a year ago. It was back when we were playing it in high school.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
It has indeed. Now I know you have been playing Coriolis. Want to plug that?
Sure. We just wrapped up a little mini campaign. I was playing a character on my brother's podcast, so it was audio only, not a visual component. So instead of being like a live stream, it was more like a produced game that was like edited with sound effects and that sort of thing. That was with my brother as the GM, and then myself and two other people as players. And that's currently being posted on his podcast, which is called Mud and Blood. So if you check out the Mud and Blood podcast, it covers gaming, tabletop gaming, and they've got a Coriolis game, which we finished the recording, and it'll wrap up in the next 3 weeks. It wraps up this month, but there's about a dozen episodes, so that's really fun. Do a little campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, I started listening to the Mud and Blood podcast. It's actually really nice. They also cover a bunch of different topics in like the talk show episodes. I think I don't remember what today's episode was about because I haven't watched it yet or listened to it yet. But last week it was about like faith and religion, which was different, like wildly different than the one before that, and it was really interesting.
Oh yeah, and they also have done like interviews with like Robert Schwalb, and we're playing Coriolis, so they've interviewed the guys from Free Lagan. So I mean, they're interviewing people that are making the type of games we play. So it's really cool. So
I agree.
All right, so we return back to our setting. As a quick little recap, we Hinza leading this large group of I would say criminals,
convicts. Yeah,
convicts, dregs of the wretched of society. Good people.
Just great people. Character is not defined by the actions that you do, even though it sort of is.
Yeah, I would trust them in babysitting, but This group of people, Hinza and Liezar, have together fought through various different guards and a very short puzzle regarding taking a left turn. Uh, Now armed, not to the teeth, but to the pistol, our party has found an administrative center for the prison. Whenever they went up to the second floor, however, Hinza found a somewhat familiar face. Not entirely sure what's entirely wrong. The only noticeable difference is mostly in the clothes, a little bit in the hair, and how they generally carry themselves.
You're talking about the female you saw earlier?
Yes. As he saw this woman, she took a step back, allowing the party to enter, and before they could enter, spoke into a communicator, simply saying, "They have arrived." How does Hinza react?
Ma'am, I really need to know. Are we leaving here now? I'm kind of tired.
She looks at you. She kind of looks at you with a contemptuous, almost a snarl, lowering down her device. And says, "Yeah, right this way." She kind of like thumbs over to her left, which is like straightforward for you guys.
Thanks. Hey, have you ever heard about the darkness? I say as I walk in.
As you walk in, you kind of your attempt to proselytize to this woman is drowned out by the stomping of 24 prisoner feet.
Just 24?
Sorry, 48
yeah, I was
prisoner
imagining
feet.
I was imagining like a huge group of people, but now I'm just thinking of just like a
just 12 guys.
Yeah, just like a small group of people just kind of like moving through a building, be like just like very, very calm and collected in comparison.
So yeah, no.
All right.
Is the ocean, not the ocean, the people wave of 48 feet of 24 people kind of like goes in, splits around you, and kind of converges on the other side, forming a group, kind of like looking around this big white room. And your attempt to proselytize is extremely drowned out.
But I wanted
by
to
their,
tell you about it.
Sense.
Okay.
So Liezar, who was just reaching to put the tag he gathered from the guard outside to the door, is now standing at the other side of the door. Now that the entire group has entered the room, on the other side of the door.
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. So is there like another door that I could get to, or?
No, at the top of the stairs there was a door, and that was where you were going to put.
So was the woman on this side of that door, or was she further into the next room?
She was in the next room. Whenever you were going to unlock that door, the door opened before you could.
Oh. So when all that conversation happens, then is there like an obvious, like you said we're in an administrative area, is it like a map or anything that shows like where like any sort of like airport or landing pad or a spaceport is in location or relation to this administrative room?
So looking at the split between the two staircases that you were just walking up, the split is kind of square in shape, and on this side of it, looking towards it, you would see an inscription of an engraving, I suppose is actually the correct term, of a physical map with holographic projections of the prison grounds, with a little "You are here" red dot right in the northwest section. There is a dock pretty close by, actually, directly to your west.
I think he's gonna start running that direction. I think he feels like this is his only chance. If he doesn't escape now, he's probably a dead man.
Heinz also runs to the dock with him.
All right. You start to head west out this way, and that would be down the stairs and directly straight from those stairs. However, as you start making your way down the stairs, you kind of realize that there's not a door down there, and there is the door to which you enter the room from. However, that leads right back to the hallway from which you came, or the corridor made by fences and other larger walls.
Did the map not show where the entryway was, like hallways and that sort of thing?
It was too large to show such things as doors. It was mostly just like general shapes for buildings. However, you could see that there might have been a walkway attached to the building further into the building. So potentially in that room she was just in, there might have been a walkway to another building that leads to the dock, if the map reads true.
What are you thinking, Kale?
I think talking to the girl is a good idea because she'll be able to help us out.
All right.
So I think Keen's just gonna say, so where do I need to go to get out of here?
And then also when he says that, Liazar's gonna add to that, we need directions to the spaceport.
She gives a kind of not a haughty laugh, but a sort of a knowing one, I suppose. And then, yeah, kind of like that. I'm not entirely the best voices. And she points again in the same direction she just pointed earlier and said, "Go in that way, and we'll help you leave."
Oh my, what a deep voice you have.
He's just gonna follow her directions with like both pistols extended and just kind of like run off.
I still have my stun gun awkwardly stuffed inside of my sleeve.
The way she points leads further into this second floor room. And in direct path of where she's pointing is the large group of 24 different prisoners. But beyond that is another smaller hallway that leads into a large semicircular building, or room, I should say. This semicircular room, in the center of it, has a large and almost primitive-looking control desk with various different analog devices marked with certain different ship names that you can even recognize as legendary ships. And most control centers have something like this. So the more common knowledge would be to assume that this is a control center for a shipyard, sort of a control tower, as we would see in normal airports.
Nice. Well,
are we at the spaceport or?
You're not at the spaceport. You're still within that administrative building, but it seems that the room you just entered definitely has some involvement in the nearby spaceport. In fact, looking beyond that analog control table, you see at the far end of the semicircular room is a closed, shut window that continues along the entire length of the semicircular wall.
I open the window.
All right. Looking at the window, you'd immediately be hit by a massive wave of just all the rain from this planet, this permanent storm. But yeah, definitely kind of a factor. But beyond that, you'd be able to kind of like get a view of an active shipyard. You'd see various different ships in it, but they're all stationary. Mostly probably because of this, prison break issue, which is kind of keeping people where they are today.
Okay.
I think Liazar at this point, if we can see the spaceport, he's just gonna be running for it at full speed.
Yeah, same here. I think Heinza's gonna be going pretty quick to do it as well.
All right. So the two look around for the nearest exit to the room, which is on the second floor. And while that would technically be a window, that's probably not the best idea. They look to their right, and together they see another door. That door, where Liazar would be able to piece together, leads into what would probably be a skywalk, a sort of a hallway connected between two buildings at an elevated point. They go over to the door, and Liazar, I'm assuming, holds out the tag trying to open it.
Sure, yeah.
Yep. All right. And unluckily for him, the tag does not have access to this door.
Does it have like a doorknob or an access panel or something?
It does have an access panel where you would normally either put in a password or swipe a tag, and the tag is showing off as non-compliant.
I think he's going to shoot at the panel and see if that shorts it out where he can open the door.
He shoots the panel because it's a Vulcan gun, so it causes a very minor explosion in it. And there does seem to be an electrical sizzling as the explosion goes off. The access panel is blown off from the wall. The shrapnel kind of like flying just a short distance out. In fact, a bit of it like spatters against his exosuit. But there's no sort of reaction from the door. As he does this, or as this happens, the woman enters the room, and she says, "That's not going to get you anywhere." And she gestures to the control desk in the center of the room and says, "Now pick a ship."
Take a ship.
I want the biggest one, and all of the followers to come with us.
Are there any ships capable of hauling this many people on the manifest or roster?
Yes. So she kind of like, or as you kind of look at the manifest on the control device, you'd see the name of 2 different ships as well as their information. In Qin script, there would be a ship by the name of Lupus. It appears to be a freighter of some kind, with a massive hold and trade mostly in human cargo. And in the other, which has a Xeni script, a script that you both grew up reading as members of the Order of the Pariah, its name is Inferno. The manifest would read that it's a repurposed military ship that has become a smuggler ship with a large amount of rooms.
Inferno.
All right, she pulls out a small data tablet and seems to mark something off.
Oh yes,
She looks to Liazar and asks, "And how about you?"
Inferno sounds like a purifying fire.
Hang on, real quick. Can we just clarify this? So she's logging our illegal escape out of a prison.
Yeah.
She's like, it's like me stealing a phone in the store. I'm like, okay, we'll go and activate that for him. Like,
think of it more as she's selling you tickets to these ships
for free. Cool.
For free. Yeah.
All right.
She's giving you the ticket that allows you to enter the ship.
So she's just like an accomplice.
Yep. She marks off another thing whenever Liazar mentions the Inferno. And then she turns to the mass group and continues with this process until all 24 have been marked of their own. After having marked the majority to Inferno after your examples, she says, "Now we can escape." She walks over to the door, and noticing that the access panel has been kind of shot off, she pulls out her communicator once more. Speaking in a language common to the citizens of Al-Qiyama system, she says a couple words. I would assume neither of you really understand, and eventually the door comes open. The door comes into a hallway, and at the end of the hallway is not a door, but just a simple archway into a spire room. leading down stairs, of course.
Are we currently very close to the spaceport?
Yes, you could see it, and it was probably about a 200 feet walk.
For the spiral stairs, is there a handlebar?
Yes.
I sit upon
In
it
fact,
and
there are two.
slide down.
All right.
I think Liazar is headed towards the spaceport still. Also, it's
right.
almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so
Yeah.
it's a bit of bed soon.
This is actually like the last little bit of the campaign, or the mission.
The campaign. All right, escape from prison.
We're
Good
all
job.
done. It's
Mission's over.
Great job, guys. Wonderful work. I like the part where we had the character development, but okay. So Liazar, to get down to the spaceport, would have to walk down the stairs, and I would assume he does. Yeah. So the two are now speeding down the stairs, and the group, as well as the woman included, is kind of trying hard to keep up in these two's frenzied escape to get out. There's no resistance along the path, and the path leading to one of two ships, one marked Inferno, the other Lupus, is completely clear, except of other prisoners and what seem to be refugees and people of similar background to those who are now following you.
Yep.
Between the two ships, about 200 people file in, and you two are included.
Hang on real quick. So there were 24 people,
yep.
And now there's just a massive 200 people?
Yep. A lot of people entered from other, there were a bunch of other...
yeah, I forget. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think one of my characters, Heinza's main goals now is to figure out which one of them is the clone. That's very important.
All right. It's very important to him. All right. So now the two of you are being filed onto your selected ship in a massive line. The process doesn't take that long because they're just marking people off on data pads with a couple people assigned at the door. Both ships, they're rather large, at about a class 3 size, which puts them at the average freighter for a smaller merchant kind of company.
Okay.
So the two of you eventually get on this ship and are told to hold up or to stay in the hold. In the hold for the Inferno is kind of it's a mangy sort of section. It hasn't been cleaned what it would appear to be in years. There's moss growing, and that's honestly amazing in a spaceship. In fact, it's kind of interesting how much life is in this metal box, because a lot of it is just various forms of fungus.
That's because people are just disgusting.
Yes. The inside of the Inferno is definitely not a picnic to be in, but it's better than a prison cell at the very least.
Can we head to the bridge and fire it up and take off?
Huzzah, comrades! I am finally in here.
That is not the... What am I looking for? The responsibility of the crew, of your section of the crew. The two of you are in the hold, and it seems that there's another group kind of orchestrating all of this. There appears to be people who are actually organizing all the prisoners, putting them into certain rooms and that sort of thing.
Putting them in our cells.
And
sorry.
And oddly enough, just even though everybody's being assigned a room, they're all just standing in the hold. And whenever you're assigned a room, you're told to stay in the hold by the various people with data pads running by. It seemed sort of like space clipboards.
I'd like to try and grab one of those clipboards.
You fail.
Oh.
They pull it away, hold it over their head, They're taller than you, and they kind of like laugh.
They run off.
Exactly. Move on to the next person, and so on and so forth. Eventually, as more and more people have been assigned certain numbers, certain rooms, that sort of thing, a large projection is put onto the nearest wall. You have to back up to view it in full extent, but Hinza, you would recognize it as the woman you saw earlier. And now that you can see her, you can kind of make out more specific differences between her and the other woman, such as her eyebrows are slightly longer, her hair is a slightly darker shade of yellow, or brown, and other minor differences.
So clone number 3. Okay.
She's the first woman you saw.
Oh, whoops.
Can we
The original?
Yep. She
is
says
it a good spot to stop? Or you want to like keep going for this, or
this is actually the final part. The final
Okay.
part. She says, "I'd like." She clears her throat and begins a speech by saying, "I'd like to formally welcome you all to the Haji, and I'd also like to recommend that you all brace for impact." And as soon as she says that, there is a loud, rocking noise as the ship you are in doesn't explode, but seems to completely detach itself. The hole you are in is shot out from the ship in a very specific direction, and the rest of the ship explodes behind it. So you are all forced basically to the ground by the immense force of the hold, effectively a lifeboat, and shot away from not only the prison, but the ship as a whole.
Into space.
Into space.
Nice.
and so we're not in like the full ship.
You're no longer in a full ship, but it has the basic necessities to be classified as one. It has its own engines, it has life support, and everything in between.
Sweet. Well, that's awesome.
And all the fungus you'll ever need to eat.
That's not as awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Zach?
Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
Not finished yet. Kale.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
As the ship, as the hold quickly crests the outer atmosphere, the woman presenting the speech on projector simply says, "You are now all officially dead. Whoever you were, wherever you were, you are now members of the Haji." And that is where we will drop off, or leave off.
We're in our session.
Where we end our session, yes.
There you go. Well, nice. That was pretty awesome. I like
Yeah.
that. It felt like an actual story, and it feels like the prologue of an awesome, awesome thing.
So I'm going for it. Kind of fell apart halfway through, but it worked.
No, it didn't feel like
Or
it.
not
think
fell apart,
fell
but like my ability to. I had a different plan for how that was going in the middle there, and then it just it stemmed in a different way, but I made it work very well. So I think it went over.
And I did a good job. And I'm
You both
very
did a
humble.
great job.
Oh no, I was mocking.
Yes.
I was quoting you specifically.
Thank you. Thank
Word
you,
for
thank
word. Sorry.
I did a wonderful job. Everybody can praise me on only Thursdays. I only accept praise on Thursdays, and through song or money. All right. We're gonna have a post briefing, post review,
Debrief.
Debrief. Yes.
It's a Friday. We'll pay you on Fridays, new business. I refuse. You must pay me on Thursdays or not pay me at all. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fun intro to our characters, kind of like not having a whole lot being in prison. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see who we're with and like kind of like do a little not interrogation, but like getting to know you with the other people on the ship.
I agree.
Yes.
I think we should save our thoughts on how this went, maybe for the next session, because I'm super tired, and what I say is becoming less and less coherent currently.
That is
Yeah.
perfectly
I,
fair.
If you
I,
guys are
uh,
okay with that?
I had a lot of fun though. I'm excited to play next Saturday.
Same here.
All right. So that's my first time GMing for not only a Coriolis campaign, but on a stream as well. I felt
job.
like with the preparation I had, it went kind of all right.
I think it went
Next
very
week-
well.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, everyone watching right now, you can expect to see us again next Saturday from around 9 to 10 p.m. Where are we at? Central Time.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
Central Time. So, yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I think it's appropriate for Zach, you to go and lead us out to say goodbye or whatever.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be here not all week, but definitely next week. Goodbye.
Good
See ya.
night, guys.
Good night.